Hello, my beautiful people. So, what is going on in Nora Finch land today? Living the dream and money in many aspects. Freedom definitely is on that list. Okay, so what am I doing today? I haven't talked about a lot of things, including work ethic, people. Like, I think there's maybe one show that I did on it, but not really diving deep. I kind of just skim over and summarize when it comes to mindset. But I really want to talk about that. And I'm bringing that up because I'm going to get a facial today at, again, another possible job opportunity, but it may not be that. It's actually just regarding services for myself. I would like to find somebody. And I do have some certain expectations because I know the quality of work that I offer. And I'm not expecting somebody to like meet that completely or anything like that. But I think there's certain things that make a really great facial. And I will share that with you just really quickly not because, because the things I look for and the attention to detail that I pay with a lot of different things. And that is how you begin on the skin and how you end or finish on the skin with just using like your fingertips. And there's other different things that I do, but basically that's what I mean when you are beginning a facial, whether you're cleansing or I like to use aromatic oils. But basically, yes, how you begin, how you start on the skin, and then how you finish on the skin. And the same thing with body massage, just not like basically, okay, I'm going to slam a bunch of stuff on your face and then leave you. So it's like leaving an impression, right? A lasting impression. And also, it's like how I can't really think of the word other than what I just said, how you begin and how you end. So there's different things there. So I am going to make an observation, and me still looking around at these different places, I'm like, I need to go have a treatment there first, other than looking and picking somewhere just because it's beautiful, right? Again, this whole person talk relating things, different things in life. So that's what I'm doing today. It's actually in this beautiful place by where I used to live, and it's like a pharmacy. So it's really beautiful pharmacy, and then in the back they have services, and they're extending a room. Okay, so this is about creating with your mind. And I'm not going to go deep into this, people, because my job, I don't really feel like is to convince you necessarily that you can make things happen with your mind and the power of your mind. I talk a lot about subconscious mind, law of attraction, all these sorts of things that you can go and research. There's plenty of stories out there. And basically, what I would like to give you are some examples and just encouraging to you to practice for yourself. It's really easy in everyday life to just be like, what the hell is she talking about? Like, is this true for me? Right? So I have lots of different sorts of stories, and you can go listen to my video on Not a Coincidence, because I talk about in there at that point in time, you may be thinking something's a coincidence, but it's not. There's actually a divine sense of order. So it's a little bit hard to explain that until you start to experience it. So what I wanted to say is, what reminded me of this is, so the cafe that I used to work at a couple of years ago, because I saw somebody on the side of the road, this made me think of him. And he was a guy who was known in our community for kind of like, I don't want to say like starting shit. I think he had some mental disabilities and things like that too, right? It's warranted. He's going to act, out certain ways, and us being knowing of that. So when we would see him, what we would need to do if it was ever anything to make, a call for to, whatever, first responders or whatever it is, to kind of deal with the situation. And so I think we had to do it one time, but it was never really problematic. But what happened is, one of the last things before I left there, and I always talk about how powerful I am, jokingly bragging about it. But he came in, and sometimes he would come in, right, and use the bathroom and make a big mess or whatever. That's all that it was. And he would just get a cup of coffee and leave. And it was always, I guess to say, when I was there, it was always harmless stuff. I know in the past he's done other things that the owner had to kick him out for, but she always felt she could handle it. But I remember one of the last things that he did and he basically got mad about something, and he threw his cup of water, like it went all over the place, right? It splashed everywhere. And then I don't know if he walked out or somebody kicked him out or whatever it was. And I remember talking to the owner about this. I was like, okay, is this the worst that he's ever done, or he keeps doing this? Like, are you going to do, like, what are you going to do? Are you going to still keep allowing him in? And I told her, and again, I know this sounds different to some people too, who don't really, if you want to look at it as pray for somebody, I mean, I always pray for people, but pray or have an intentional thought or something towards somebody. Um, Basically, I had said something like, well, you should, in a way, if you want to say wish them away, but basically you're giving gratitude for the lessons that you've learned, right? It could be just with a stranger like this, like, thank you for teaching me whatever I needed to learn. Perhaps it could be speaking up, right? For her, speaking up and saying, I don't want you to come back here anymore, or whatever it is, which can be difficult, right? Because he may have some mental different things going on. Um, but basically, thank you for what you taught me. And now you're, free to go. I release you. Maybe you don't have to use it in those terms, but thank you. Um, that's kind of the wish, kind of what I've done is just thank you, give gratitude, and I release you, or be on your way, or I wish the best to you, or basically like cutting a cord if you have heard it. So this is, though, from the perspective of, I will get into my soul journey series about contracts with people that can even be strangers. Somebody that comes in just temporarily or whatever it is, somebody messing around with you on Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is. You can use this for any situation. And I recommend this too in my forgiveness of self and forgiveness of others, that you don't have to be in the presence and writing this letter. Okay, so there's lots of other examples that I could give you, and I have done this. I can give you many, many more examples that I've done with people, situations, but the most important thing, not only your intent, and you have to be serious, you have to have learned the lesson. How many more times was that going to happen for her? And so basically, as long as I was there afterwards, he never came back again. I forgot to tell you that part. So your intentions, the intentions you put on it, being sincere and of love, right? We don't want these people that come into our lives that maybe caused some sort of challenges, problems, whatever you want to call it. We don't want to wish harm to anybody, but that situation, like, that is going now too far. So if he's going to come in, start doing that stuff, start destroying the place, and there are no cops or whatever around, or you're waiting or whatever, you got to do something, right? You have to take some sort of action. And apparently she has spoken up before, but she's not super like aggressive, assertive or whatever. She's a very kind person. So that probably didn't exactly help. And again, when you're dealing with somebody that has some mental problems, I realize these things can be different. So it is a prayer. It's a prayer for them to move on. You learned from them what you needed to learn, and good luck to you. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say in this video. It could be way longer because I could, if I sat down and thought of more examples, but I just wanted to share with you really quick these things that pop in my head. I'm like, I got to keep sharing these stories. I got to I got to share. So again, like I said, not necessarily convincing, but practicing. Like, just try it with anything and you will see. I mean, it could really, people, when I say practicing, it could be anything. It could be like, say for instance, I'm looking for some like item, like lip gloss or shirt or whatever it is, and I call around and I don't think anywhere is going to have it, but I still do it anyway because I know how I am. I'm like, I'm just going to call, and someplace ends up having it. Okay, that's just a very basic level sort of a thing, shopping. It's all kinds of things with shopping. It's such little things, that there's not going to be a line waiting somewhere, that somewhere's not going to be busy, that you're going to get a compassionate person to help you with a return. There's so many things, people. I don't know. Maybe you need to hear more stories, but like I said, again, the convincing, I just want you to practice for yourself so that you can see. this was just an example of releasing a situation that could really lead to something just more annoying, more something maybe out of control, maybe, because he was also buying beers sometimes. So like there's different things, and so trying to keep all the energy positive also too in that place, and wanting to not have things like that happen, and vandalisms and things like that will happen in businesses, which I could go into deeper too, of just talking about, again, just there's a place that whereby I used to live, it never had problems before, and all of a sudden, and it has nothing to do with the area because it's been how it is for like the 20 years I've lived here, and then all of a sudden they start having this vandalism, so I did a special prayer for them. I got to go check in on them. And anyway, this is the stuff, people. This is what I do. I want to say it's my specialty, but my specialty is mindset training. And lastly, I didn't say lastly yet, I don't think. I'm going to be on a platform called Wizio, Wisio, and I will be working on creating the damn profile again with the passwords. So annoying. I'll be working on that, and you'll be able to ask me questions privately. Okay? And just as needed, it's not even a monthly thing. All right, I'll talk to you soon. See you in the next video. Bye.